It was Christmas Eve. I was just a kid, and I witnessed a man that was my neighbor kill his wife. I was actually looking out of the window in hopes of seeing Santa, as I still believed in him. I realized I could see into my neighbor's window. It was pretty dark, but I could see someone sleeping under a duvet as the TV illuminated the room. It was not that entertaining, so I continued looking for Santa's sleigh. Something caught my eye. It was movement from my neighbor's bedroom. I watched as he walked in, whilst his wife was sleeping. I look away, but then I see quick, violent motions and turn back. It looked as though he was beating her up. I just saw him hitting her with downward blows. I ran downstairs and told my parents that our neighbor is beating his wife up. My dad runs upstairs to where I was sat and looked across to our neighbor's window. The curtains were now closed. My dad asked me if it was a dream, and I said, no, I was watching out for Santa. I repeated everything I'd seen to my dad. My mum appeared and was listening. They looked at each other with a worried expression on their faces. My dad then kneels down and says, "Are you 100% certain that's what you saw? As we could get in trouble if it isn't." "I think so." Tired now, I'm drifting off to sleep when I can hear my parents having a tense conversation downstairs. Dad thought I'd seen something else entirely, as it was dark and they could have been fooling around. My mum was insistent that he call the police, or she's not spending Christmas at home next to someone who did nothing for that poor woman. So my dad rang the police, hoping it was a mistake. My mum and dad watched from a window that looked directly onto their drive as the police came into view. They hoped the wife would answer, so they could relax and carry on with their evening. Instead, there was no answer, even after they knocked numerous times. They had their torches on looking through the windows. One was heard saying, "Come out with your hands up," amongst other things. They then blocked off his house. He had a gun and would shoot the cops if they entered his house. The next thing, everyone was being evacuated in case a shootout occurred. As we all left, there were flashing red and blue lights everywhere. We didn't know what to expect when we could return. News quickly spread around town about the standoff. It ended with him shooting himself in the head and dying as they broke the door down and entered. Upstairs, they found his dead wife in bed. She'd been stabbed more than 30 times. That's when I realized I'd watched him stab her to death. My parents tried to protect me from the truth, as they knew it would mess me up. They were right. I had anxiety until my early 20s. It totally warped my perception on people, and I found it incredibly difficult to trust.